Yes, Reds, how are we? We are back. Bit more consistent now. Obviously, we had a little bit of a break, didn't we? Obviously, with the terrible news, but here we are. I've got two of my regular faces, and we've got a guest that we've been meaning to have a good chat for a while. That's the online, haven't we? How are we doing?
Man, I've said about no to you about 3-4 times. I thought, you know what, I have to make time, man. You probably end up blocking me on WhatsApp if I said no today. But no, thank you very much for having me on. I've been a viewer. I try to, keep in touch with you guys. I think you went live a couple of days ago, didn't you?
We done one yesterday, and then obviously a few of the lads obviously a little bit busy, but obviously you know what's been the situation.
Yeah, exactly. No, the more the merrier, mate. The more the merrier. The more Liverpool channels, the better it is for you, for us. And the Liverpool family keeps on growing, doesn't it? And that's the main thing.
It's difficult as well, and obviously, we speak a lot. You know how hard it is keeping the consistency up, lad. So fair play to you, and I like what you're doing. Obviously, we all speak about it. It's part of the shows you're doing. Hard work, and the shows are really good, mate. So congrats on how big the channel's getting. Adam, how are you?
Oh, good, mate. It's all good when the weather's like this, isn't it? No, but I wanted good to get back to talking like some chat about proper Liverpool stuff, as you say. We've had a few. The week's not been the best, has it? No. So I'm happy that we're here now to talk about this.
Yeah, it feels like obviously yesterday was not the greatest of shows to have. Obviously, it said a few words on the Jota situation and stuff. But Rick, now try and get back to the normal sort of chat and where the club could be going. But how are you anyway?
Yeah, mate. Just the weather's hot. It's supposed to be boiling this weekend. I think it's in the 30s. So get that sun cream out for my head, mate. Got to protect that.
Look like Arnie Slot in the building.
Oh, mate. Heat stroke.
Right. If you haven't already, smash the like and subscribe, and don't forget as well to smash subscribe for Asim's channel, Born and Bred as well. They do great content. Asim, look, just before we go to the Liverpool stuff, it's been a bit of breaking news. Ornstein, Romano about Tottenham. Obviously not Liverpool quite yet, but obviously two signings they're making, it seems, in the last 48 hours. Kudus from West Ham and Gibbs White from Forest. What do you make of that? I think they're great signings, them, and it's going to put a bit of pressure on Arsenal now.
It is. And to be honest with you, really good prices, I feel. Everyone was talking about, Mohamed Kudus will be around 70, 80 million pounds. Is there a release clause, but does it activate later on in about 12 months' time? And then, Gibbs White, I think Manchester City were linked with him. We were talking on backstage, weren't we, around, 6 months ago, and the price was quoted around 80, 90, even 100 million pounds that Nottingham Forest were pricing him at. But a release clause has come out of nowhere, and fair play to him. Thomas Frank has taken that project, and Daniel Levy has got a bit of a reputation as, they've got a policy of spending money, but it's all on like 18, 19, 20-year-olds. But can they win now? And it's never been the case. And whenever that project signing has done well for them, they've ended up losing that player. But fair play. They got that trophy, that long-wanted trophy, and it looks like they're trying to go to the next level. And it's a project, I think, a lot of people were talking about Thomas Frank at Liverpool before we got Slot. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too keen on the idea, but does that mean he's a bad coach? I think he's a brilliant coach. And I think that step from Brentford to Tottenham, I think that was the next step for him. And he's got some good young talent there. And
respectable as well, isn't he? He's a good fit for Spurs, I think.
He is a good fit. He's a good fit. And what he showed last year, Ben, is he's adaptable as well. Because whenever you came up against Brentford, is those big lads, and although they've never ever lost that about going direct, big lads winning the second balls and putting it on to you in terms of intensity, last year he started playing football. He started playing out of the back, and he started changing systems as well. He started going 4-4-2 at times, and I really liked that. And I thought, you know what, this is just not a manager who's just set on one principle, one shape, something like we've seen with Amorim, haven't we, with Man United. He's come out and he's put his cards on the table and said, look, this is my system. I'm not changing it. But when it's going wrong, you have to. And now if he changes it and makes subtle changes to the formation, he's going to look stupid. But some coaches like Thomas Frank, in all fairness, he's going to go to Tottenham, and I think he's going to get. Look, it can only get better from, can't it? Where did they finish?
I think can't do any worse apart from the trophy. I think he's. Do you know one thing he's proved as well? He's proved Spurs have always been a good attacking side, so they're not going to lose anything, in my opinion. Look at the developments he's done for that Wisa and Wemo.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And Wemo was a player that obviously he knew, but they've got Mohamed Kudus. I think 50 odd million pounds is a good snip. Yes, he's got that question about him in terms of pure output when you start comparing him, but every time I've seen that lad play football, Ben, the first time
against us,
you can't get the ball off him. You cannot get the ball off him, and you players, professional footballers bounce off him, and he's that kind of player that I think he's got a proper. I don't want to compare him to Sadio because Sadio is an unbelievable player, but you know what I mean, where there is a proper talent there where he just needs to go into the right environment, and I think that output will come. Ball striking ability, I think, is good. Ball carrying ability, dribbling. He's got a lot of facets, and he's multifunctional. And we saw players like McAllister, Soboslai, all these Gravenberch, multifaceted players come into our side and been really, really good because whether it's from a starting position or interchanging position with natural fluidity, they've got the talent to find themselves in different parts of the field and being able to do more than a job. And Mohamed Kudus, although his output needs to be better, he has to be better. If some team spends £50 million on you, you have to justify that with goals and assists. But he's got the facets, he's got the traits. Now it's up to him and the coach to get the best out of him.
Absolutely. Like, Adam, just before we move on to the Liverpool stuff, which I'll go to Rick after you, we've just, in particular, the big thing at the minute is on this transfer window has been talked about, this £100 million figure. And this is in particular to Gibbs White. Kudos wasn't far behind that figure, but ultimately, we've had many chats recently, and, one thing that you've kept saying is, you just feel it's a load of bollocks, this £100 million figure. And because obviously there's a lot of players in the window that seem to be deemed at 100 million. But what's your take on this Gibbs White one?
Gibbs White one, I remember saying to you, and you were like, it's another 100 million now for the player when City were linked. And I said, yeah, but when you're like a team like Forest and your best player, you just want to give them the highest asking price and then work themselves down. And I feel like every single player, like Ornstein and all that, you just say 100 million. He's going to be 100 million. So that's why I've always said about all the other stuff that we'll come on to later. You just go for the asking price and work himself down. It's a negotiation, isn't it? But he's not 100 million, but he's a 60 million player. 100%.
Definitely is.
100%.
He is. Rick, just before we move into the Liverpool stuff, them two players in particular, 50 or 55 mil for Kudos, 60 mil for Gibbs White. Putting pressure on Arsenal now because it's making that Madueke deal look absolutely fucking shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, both of them players were getting the Arsenal team, I think. Kudos would fight Martinelli for that left-hand side, or even down the middle ahead of Havertz. And Gibbs White is a very, very talented player. I see Nottingham Forest fans on Twitter now that just can't believe they're only getting 60 mil for him. Apparently this is release clause, but I think they only make something like 12 to 15 million profit on the whole deal because Wolves are due 10% on any transfer that goes in. So it's what happens to Forest? They've got Europa League, I believe, because Palace might be getting punished and put in the Conference League. So if they got Europa League, they're losing Alanga and Gibbs White.
Massive plays for them.
Yeah, like both first team starters, so they've obviously got replaced in this window. They've apparently valued at Visa at 20 mil, but Brentford want close to 50. So that might be a non-starter for them. So it's going to be interesting to see what Forest do with the funds. Listen, we've got some players available if they want some replacements. But yeah, I expect Spurs to be strong. Listen, they've got a good backline, Spurs, when it's all fit.
Keeping them fit, that's their problem.
That's it. The midfield's decent. They've got Sarr, Basuma. They've even got Maddison still there if he can stay fit. So it looks like it's shaping up to be a decent squad for Spurs. And now Thomas Frank's there. we know how good he is as a manager. The way he plays can be interesting for them next season, I think.
I think Thomas Frank's high line won't be as high as Postecoglou's, and that'll save a lot of hamstrings.
Yeah.
He just would. Do you know what he was? Postecoglou he was just a typical cup manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't good over the long stretch of 38 games. But you know what? Here we go. It's Liverpool time. I'm going to put you under pressure here.
Me?
Here we go. I don't know if you've seen the news just before you came on, but it was.
Are you looking for a bomber?
We'll see what comes up. I don't know if you've seen it, because I know you would have been busy and obviously you just joined, but that Darius is saying Real Madrid are willing to pay €25 million for Ibrahim Konate now to take him this summer. Now, I'm going to kind of link this in as well, because obviously, we won't keep the show going too long, but obviously there's him being one of them, the other player being Luis Diaz. I think there's an opportunity that Liverpool sell Konate this year, because they're willing to pay 25, they're probably willing to pay double, aren't they, eventually? And Luis Diaz, we know. I know I've seen your show today talking about Luis Diaz. I know you've probably had the question time and time again on your show. He looks like a player that's nearly out the door by now. I think Liverpool probably had the fucking enough of him. But could you see potentially Konate going this summer as well?
What was your question? That if the bid is around, or would there be?
Yeah, so they're potentially willing to pay €25 million now to take him.
I would not take it.
Yeah, I agree.
I would not take it. Why? Because what's that 25 million really going to do for us?
You only have to compare it to Mark Gay's valuation, don't you? He's in the same boat.
There you go. And I believe whatever you think of Ibrahim Konate contract situation, as a player, I think he's twice the player Mark Gay he is. And that's not me just talking in terms of the level. He's done it in Champions League finals. Yeah. Even when we lost that final, I think Ibu was our best player that night, and he's been covering Trent's arse for the last 4 or 5 years as well. So look, I would not take it. I don't know how reliable that source is, Ben. You probably know better than me. I would think Liverpool would start thinking about selling Ibu Konate if they start looking at around the 50-60 million mark. Yeah. But does that bid come in? I don't think it will. Why? If it's Real Madrid, they don't want to talk to you. They start talking to you when you've got 2 years. That is their policy, isn't it? And I was actually talking to a friend today, and who he was talking about the actual guy who is the head scout. I completely forgot his name. I didn't even know his name. And he goes, he's probably the best operator in football alongside Michael Edwards. But their policy of just, look, call it what you like in terms of the morals and the ethics of it, but everyone does it to an extent. And they're probably the best out of it. Obviously, they take advantage of the heritage of the Real Madrid name, the city, the country, the weather, and the history of the club as well. But they start targeting you the moment you've got 2 years left on that contract. And when that comes, the player, it's a life-changing contract. But I think Liverpool need to take some responsibility for allowing these players to come into that position. The moment they start holding the key to the conversation, you're running yourself down an alleyway where it's not going to end soon. And I think we have to give credit to the club for tying up the deals of Salah and Van Dijk. But at the end of the day, they've cost us an arm and a leg. They're on around about 400 grand a week. Yeah, they deserve every penny. They're absolute massive leaders, and they're performing at the highest level. But at the end, in terms of finances, purely on finances, it's cost us a lot of money. And if I'm Ibu Konate and I've got that dream of playing at Real Madrid, I've got that dream of playing in my home country in Paris, I'm looking at the situation, and now, do I really want to leave when I can get 300-400 grand a week and probably double my money from what I'm on currently at Liverpool? Are you going to really blame him? But I think the responsibility for one needs to, be laid on us to a large extent. But right now, if you're going to, survive and get this situation where we as Liverpool fans want it, is you offer him around 200 grand a week. I think Ibu Konate is at a level of a defender where I think he's justified, depending on considering where everybody else is paid as well. 200 grand is fair. Whether he accepts it right now is another question, Ben.
And I don't think it's ever the money with regards from Liverpool's side. I think it's easily given. When you look at some of these players that are paid in the league, fucking some of them are garbage. Do you know what I mean? Who were on serious money. I think a lot of these players probably look at the likes of the Contacts and Rashford and shit like that, and they're like, what the fuck's going on here? Adam, I'm going to come to you now. Luis Diaz. How do you see this one going? I think he's gone, mate. I do think he's gone. I think it's just about tying up the loose ends with the figure, but it's a player that's not really willing to fucking properly put the shirt back on, innit?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. I think he was gone weeks ago when he did that post, and his girlfriend did as well, didn't he? I thought he was gone weeks ago. I'm quite surprised it's gone this long, to be honest. Like, the season starts in 5 weeks. So I'm quite surprised. I thought we would have got rid of him a few weeks ago. I just don't know if we're going to get the 65 million or whatever you want for him. I don't think Bayern are going to budge. So that's going to be the problem. If he wants to go, he obviously looks like he wants to go. But we hold all the cards, don't we? Like everyone keeps saying, like, so pay the price and he can go. But at the minute, mate, now we've got to keep him because we can't accept 50 million when the likes of Alanga are going for 55. And Diaz is better than them, isn't he? So I think we've got to hold out, mate, definitely.
Yeah, it's a strange time, isn't it? Because looking from Liverpool's point of view, you don't want too much change, but it looks like at the minute you've just got to roll the dice and fucking go with it and roll with the punches. All right, Rick, big topic at the minute because obviously Luis Diaz. With regards to the forwards, you know, off air we were talking about a couple of names, two in particular, Rodrigo and Anthony Gordon. Who can you see being the one Liverpool go for? No pressure, lad. I think a bit quiet there, lads. So I thought I'd wake you up.
I think it all depends. I think it depends how the Isak pursuit goes. Is if we could get Gordon out of Newcastle. If we don't, I think Gordon becomes a little bit easier. I know everyone's against this Rodrigo signing, all because the videos of him slating Salah off in training. But like, you need to say. He just said that if they see someone on the floor or something rolling around, they just shout out Salah and stuff like that. But I think like it's banter in the end. Every club has it. You can't take away the quality of Rodrigo. I think he's a very, very good player. I know he plays for Real Madrid in that Spain league, which ain't the highest standard. But I just think the flair of him, he's got pace, he can score, he can assist. He's a different type of winger that we ain't really had at the club recently, but you take Luis Diaz out of it. If it's me personally, I'm going for Rodrigo out of the two because I think he can play both left and right. Same as Gordon. Gordon can play all three. He can play down the middle, he can play left, he can play right. I just think if you get rid of someone like Luis Diaz, I think you need to sort of bring in the same type of player which Rodrigo is. But listen, I won't be against. If it's Gordon, it's Gordon. I won't be against. I love Gordon as a player. I think his ceiling for me is higher than Diaz's. Not asked. I see people on Twitter saying it's a downgrade for Gordon to come in when Diaz goes. Gordon's ceiling's higher than Diaz's by a lot.
Might be the better player now, Diaz. But I mean, you've got to give him a chance, haven't you?
Just by age.
Yeah, but you've also got to put into effect. If you put Gordon in this Liverpool team, he'll bag. Like
100%.
Any player in world football comes in this Liverpool team, they will score goals. So it don't matter if like you've got Wirtz there to set you up, you've got Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister all behind these frontline players. So it don't matter who you bring Gordon. But for me, Gordon is a top player, I think. But if I had to pick one now, it'd be Rodrigo, just purely because the flash in it. It's Rodrigo is available. If someone from Real Madrid who's a top player is available. And obviously Liverpool got to go for them type of players. Where we are now, we need them type of players.
Who's more expensive?
Gordon. I think Gordon would be.
I think Gordon, mate.
English tax. Newcastle won't want to sell. I think you could probably get Rodrigo for 70 to 80 mil, but I think you're looking at 80, 90 mil for Gordon.
I agree.
Well, then, Asim, do you think he would be the more expensive signing? Because I know we've spoke. Personally, we've said the same thing. I don't believe Anthony Gordon signed a deal with Newcastle that kept his fucking price sky high.
I agree. I've been saying the same thing. I think whoever you speak to and who knows the player, the family, his friends, and even in interviews, he comes across as a really smart guy. I think he wouldn't have signed that contract just to prize him out of that dream move. Even then, he was increasing his wages. Newcastle, great set of fan base, great club, stadium. Call it what you like. I think that dream move, he was practically telling the whole world that he was moving to Liverpool last summer. And I think he still had an eye on that. And if you've got the actual motivation to make that step from Newcastle to Liverpool, Newcastle fans won't like me saying that, but with all due respect, we're a bigger club and a better team. But I got a feeling, obviously this is just purely based on opinion, that he may have some sort of buyout clause if Liverpool or a top 1, top 2 team come. It might even be a Liverpool clause, such as his dream to play in that red.
He knew Diaz was going to go eventually.
100%. 100%. So I think it protected him. It protected also Newcastle as well, because they were going to lose him last summer at a much discounted rate. And they get the fee this summer. It might not be 80-90 million pounds. And I might be wrong. In terms of your question, if it's going to be Rodrigo or Gordon, I think Rodrigo, there's a question mark against Rodrigo in terms of coming to the Premier League and settling as a player, because Gordon obviously knows the league, knows the manager, and he's done it in the Premier League. But I think Rodrigo has got a higher ceiling than Anthony Gordon. And if he comes, I do prefer him to play on that left-hand side. And I think Rodrigo's talent needs for him to come to a team that is not going to make him the main man, because I think Mohamed Salah for the next 2 years will still be the main man. He's still going to be the guy who we're going to play through. But add Rodrigo and Wirtz to our creativity, it's just going to be absolute mayhem for teams, because I think that is one of the priorities for Liverpool. When you look at Gakpo's and Diaz's output and goal involvement, it was good last season. But in terms of Diaz, you can argue that it was a one-off season because he hasn't given us those numbers in previous years. And I know there's context, his dad and all that sort of stuff, his injury previously as well. There's context, and you have to consider that. But when it comes to Rodrigo, I think he needs to come and play in that left-hand side position, because I think he would be absolutely brilliant. Would I be against Anthony Gordon coming in? I wouldn't, because he ticks a lot of boxes, as you guys have said. Home quarter, knows the league, he's done it.
He won it as well for Liverpool, wouldn't he?
Exactly. But one more concern I would have, and we've talked about it, in privately and on our channel, is when you look at Anthony Gordon at Everton, a transition-based team, a counter-attacking team. Newcastle on the big day against City, Liverpool, Arsenal, a counter-attacking team. And although he's done really, really well against the big teams, a lot of the good stuff when you see Anthony Gordon is on the counter-attack. And when you do come up in a side like Real Madrid, like City, like Liverpool, a lot of the times you're going to have 60-70% of the possession. And when you do, it's a completely different ball game when you're dealing with a bus and a team in a really low block than playing on the counter-attack a lot of the times on big days. So can he do it against 2-3 people coming across on that left-hand side? It's a completely different ball game. But one thing that he does, and I love about Anthony Gordon, he'll run all day for you. He will run all day for you. And when you've got the creativity of Wirtz and Salah and McAllister, particularly on that left-hand side in the middle of the park, I think he'll get a lot of the ball, because all these 3 players can pick a pass out. And I think he'll be brilliant.
Ben, question for you quickly. So do you think, if there's a chance of getting Isak at Newcastle, do you think Liverpool stay away from Gordon?
I would be an opinion. Or was that question to me, by the way?
All of you.
Okay. Adam, go for it, mate.
I'll go on, Ben. It was to you, mate. Go on.
Pass the parcel round. If the Isak deal is a potential, then they'd have to go for the Isak deal, wouldn't they? Bearing in mind he's the dream scenario. You couldn't blame them for doing that. The club won't be able to get 2 of them out of there. I do not believe that for one fucking second. Newcastle would not do that to the fans either. But while we were talking there, I just wanted to bring it up. Obviously, I know Asim's got plans this evening, so I don't want to keep it too long. But I want this to be for you, Asim.
Okay.
Ben Jacobs has just been mentioning something on Twitter. He said, if Liverpool find out in the next couple of days, last weeks, that the door is totally shut on Alexander Isak, because that's what they're waiting for, the Liverpool would turn their attentions to Ekatike. Now, obviously, Rick's just posed that question to me with regards to Isak. If there's an opportunity, will he stay away from Gordon? I think they would. If they can't get Isak, I think they would go for Gordon. But with regards to Isak, I think there was a big chance before the situation of the Jota, what's happened.
Really?
I just think, my opinion is, I can't see Liverpool spend the whole money just on him, because I think it's going to cost. I think, look now, as much as we don't want to say it, they'll be cheeky for Newcastle and they'll top that price up, in my opinion, because they know Liverpool are a bit more desperate for a number 9. What do you think on it with Isak? Because I could still see them going for Gordon. And then after they sorted Gordon out, I don't think they'd be that asked about overpaying slightly for Ekatike if it got them in the number 9. But I just can't see them doing Gordon and Isak.
I would be very surprised if we get 2 from Newcastle this summer. I would also be surprised if we don't get 1 from Newcastle this summer. I think Anthony Gordon or Isak, and just opinion again, because you do know people like to clip you and put you on Twitter.
Break the news, lad. Break the news.
Breaking news. I would be surprised. I get what you're saying, Ben, in terms of the circumstances that Newcastle might just drive up the price. But on the flip side of the coin is there's a bigger need for a number 9 now. And because of how the number 9 it's a shit market. We knew that before. Liverpool liked 2 good players, like their dream signing, Isak or Julian Alvarez. And Julian Alvarez is a complicated deal as well. Apparently he didn't settle into the country, and that's why he went. But the dream signing was Isak, again, Premier League proven, and he'd fit in like a glove. I think that he's a dream. I would be very, very surprised. I think I've been saying it for weeks now, that Liverpool will test the waters for Alexander Isak. And then it also depends. I think if you test the waters and you knock on that Newcastle door, you don't do it without any encouragement from the player.
100%. 100%. I agree.
Exactly.
And then it's up to Newcastle. If they go drive up that price around 160, 170 million pounds, we'll just walk away. Simple as. We'll come back next year probably. But if they are willing to do some reasonable negotiation, and if that figure is around 130, 140 million pounds, I can see Liverpool doing a deal.
Just to interrupt on what you're saying there, the one thing I will say is, right, because I've always felt there's a good chance with Isak. We've had many chats, asked him. But when I look at the posts that come from Northeast journalists, the way I read it is I feel like they're coming from Newcastle is they're kind of trying to wait to see if Liverpool will offer. Because I feel like they want to know what Liverpool would pay. Do you know what? It's like they're enticing Liverpool on, because it's all right saying we're offering them the number 9. Oh, but Liverpool is still there. Well, he's not for sale. Stop fucking talking about Liverpool.
100%. 100%.
Do you think in the background now his agent is just sat there, like not even speaking to Newcastle at all, like to say, all right, lads, yeah, you've put that 150 million on me, but you're going to offer him a new contract. And then 100%. When they say no, he's going to go back to Isak and go, well, mate, they're not going to offer you the bumper new contract. That's going to piss him off, isn't it? Surely. That's what I'd think anyway. That's what I've always hoped, and so has Ricky. That's what's happening.
Well, if you're going to say someone's worth 150 million, you're going to have to put a serious 400 grand a week.
But I don't think they can offer him the 150 million pound wage bracket.
Exactly.
We know that they're touching PSR. There's no questions. They're touching PSR still. Northeast journalists are still saying. So it's going to be like they're waiting for us to come in. Or I reckon Liverpool potentially have told them when the Ekatike stuff came out yesterday for Newcastle, Liverpool might have told them spend the money now, saves you getting ripped off further down the line once you've sold Isak, and then once you've done what you needed to do, we'll come in for Isak. Here's the money that we've agreed, and go down that route maybe. But they've paid 55 for Elanga. The Newcastle journalists were saying they've got 150 top to spend. They still need a centre half. They still need another forward. as well. Yeah, a keeper. Ekitike is not costing less than 80 million. So where are Newcastle getting this money from?
Exactly. And Ben, just to add on that is when you were, and what Adam was saying is when you're going to sort of put figures like 150, there was even a 200 million figure that was put into, I think it was in the Chronicle, about 2-3 weeks ago. And then if you're going to put that figure on your prized asset, and then when you start going for players like Mbeumo and Elanga and Rashford, they're going to put that tax on those sort of teams because everyone knows, generally speaking, in the Premier League, all the teams have got money. So if you're coming out and outpricing Liverpool on Isak, you're going to get the same treatment from other teams. And now you've seen it in the last couple of days where their journals are saying, no, it's not that, it's the Saudi tax. But call it what you want. They've shot themselves in the foot a bit. But I agree with you, lads. I think they're expecting the Isak deal. Liverpool will not do anything until Darwin Núñez leaves the club. Yeah. I think we need to recoup that money, and then we'll go again. And before the tragic event happened, all the narrative was Liverpool will get the money from the Harvey Elliott deal. Maybe Chiesa was going to leave, Darwin Núñez, Tyler Morton, and I think Liverpool's process has probably delayed a week to 10 days. And I think you'll see that in the next 3-4 days again, Liverpool reigniting and just advancing on those exits. And once they do, then if we have to pay a bit of a premium on a few deals, I think we've got the money. We've got the money to do it.
This is it, mate. Like, Liverpool aren't soft. I know a good friend of ours, Andy, at the shows, a regular, he said, we've got the best negotiators in the world, and I firmly believe that. But look, because I know you're busy, mate, I'd love to keep you all night because we have a good chat. But look, Asim, thanks very much for coming on.
No problem, my pleasure.
If they don't watch Born in Bed, tell them how they can find you, because I'm sure they do anyway.
No, it's Born and Red on Twitter, Born and Red on YouTube. Head over, smash a like. But more importantly, smash a like on this stream. And all the people are in the building. Subscribe to the channel. All those guys who are watching later on, when you come back from work or you're in bed on YouTube, can't sleep in this weather. But I need to go get a fan because I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm telling you now. I feel like Dubai over here, Ben.
We've got the AC going at the minute.
I'm going to, after badminton tonight, I'm going to Asda, but it'll be one of those typical, we get 3 days of sun and everything's run out. When you get, when those days happen, when everybody thinking, we're going to get some snow and toilet paper runs out of Asda. It's one of them. Thanks for having me on, lads. Well, thanks for having me on, lads. It's my pleasure.
Mate, we'll catch up soon. Have a good night, and we'll touch base later, brother. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, lads. Adam, Ricky, take care, mate.
Yeah. Mate.
Bye-bye.
Right then, boys. We'll carry on. The show goes on. Adam, with regards to, obviously just touch a base there, what we just talked about with Asim regarding Isak, I think we hit a lot of the nails on the head. I do feel like they are expecting Liverpool to come in for Isak. Liverpool can't just, deal the cards, show the cards straight away on the Gordon deal, 100%. You know what I mean? They've got to go for it. Can you see it?
Which one? The Isak and Gordon?
Isak.
And Gordon?
No, I can't see it. Well, can you? What do you think?
I could see both if your little theory of like a release clause or something like that. We've just been speaking about Gibbs White, haven't we? No one knew about his supposedly release clause.
Yeah.
So who knows? But let's go with the Isak one. I've been thinking about this today, right?
Here we fucking go.
Right. So we heard like the journal saying we're going to be in for the big players. That's it. Now we've turned the big page, haven't we? So we've been linked with Ekitike, and then we've all watched PSG yesterday. Right. This is what I was thinking of. I think we have to go big on Isak because I feel like that we're just under PSG if we get Ekitike. And we've had a great summer, don't get me wrong, with Frimpong, Wirtz and Kerkez. But I worry, which I was thinking about today, of if we don't get that big main striker, then it's just going to be us against PSG like what we did with Real Madrid and just missing out every single time.
They look at an outfit, don't they, lad?
They do. And because every player is looking world class, to be fair, but I reckon the missing piece for us is the Isak.
It is. We're not far off it, are we? That's the.
We're not far off at all. And I'm just thinking, is Ekatike? Is everyone really going to be happy with Ekatike? Really?
2 years to getting him right up to scratch as well.
But
do you know what I mean?
Are we past that? Of let's get the potential, and have we gone past that? Because we're champions, remember? I don't know. That's what I was thinking about. But me personally, I think we've got to go big on Isak. We have to, because
I try anyway. Just fucking bang the door down and have a go.
Yeah, but then again, just to bring it back, we can't just spend it on one player, can we? I think you're right. This obviously happened this week. Has just turned everything upside down in a way, hasn't it? So I agree with you that we can't just spend it all on one player.
But this is it. Look, I'd still class personally. I'd still think for me, Gordon and Ekatike would still be too good business for Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I do understand it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do understand that if you drop Isak into this team with what we've got, could you then try and force Diaz a bit more and trying to not have to go and buy a left winger? Yeah. Just then you've still got, Gakpo's and what have you, and Diaz and Salah. But where it's going in it, I think, Asim was talking before about, Salah being the big dog in the team. He obviously is. But I think the club are going to build the team as well around Florian Wirtz, 100%. Oh, yeah. I think he's going to be pivotal for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Obviously, we've been talking about the content and obviously seeing him, because I just think he's going to fucking light up on fields. I think we're going to see a totally different style of football coming from Liverpool. But Rick, Isak, I know you're a big fan. You think he's stood outside the fucking accent in a Liverpool kid. You know what I mean? But realistically now, being sensible, not just saying we're fucking signing him. Yeah. Can you see it? Because ultimately, look, Liverpool do need more than one forward. But could Liverpool go a different route and Isak and a smaller priced player?
Yeah, I'm still the Isak's happening. I'm not. Listen, until it's physically impossible that he ain't coming, he's coming. Like I keep saying, with no disrespect, Newcastle will know their place in the pecking order. It's going to be a Coutinho type sell for them. It will help boost their squad and maybe challenge for more than just one trophy in 70 years. So if they build a squad with the money that they get. But is it Dave Powell? Liverpool, he said that we still could spend 200 million this window and not even get touched by PSR. And that's without the sales as well. I mean, you're looking at Adam putting the group earlier. It's like 200 mil with Morton, Elliott, Diaz, Nunez all out the door. So we go get Isak. Say you pay 120 to 130 for Isak in the summer. You can then go get a winger still, and not have to worry about where we're going to get the money from. And we can still go get a centre half. Then I think 3 coming now. I think it will be a left winger, Isak, and a centre half. I don't know who the centre half will be. The Guay one looks to sort of be a bit complicated due to price and that. But yeah, man,
we're doing no riff.
Yeah, 100%. But I am adamant Isak comes through the door before the end of August. I think you'll know in the next week and a half, because I think Newcastle are back today. No.
Do you know what? Remember we were talking. Obviously, we may as well just talk what we said personally, but with regards to I think Liverpool, with regards to Isak, before the Jota situation, they probably would have said to him, "Look, we can wait if we have to." But now it's like we cannot wait. Yeah. You either make the fucking jump now, or the boat sails. So you could be right, Rick.
There's talk of it already that he's told Newcastle he wants to leave.
Yeah,
and maybe we are letting Newcastle get their ducks in order and whatnot. Apparently, there's rumours that I don't know when Newcastle are back. Is it tomorrow?
I think they're back now, aren't they?
I don't think they're all back, because I don't think Isak's back in there. I think it's tomorrow or next week. And then they're playing Celtic early doors, and there was talk about on the build up to the Celtic game that Isak could potentially tell Newcastle that he wants out. I think Isak needs to come to the realization now that it's now or never for Liverpool, because we won't wait. If we sign Ekatike, you're not going for Isak next summer. There's no point. But I do think he now looks at it and thinks, this is my chance. and just get it done, man. Like, just fucking chuck a bid in at Newcastle and see what sort of minerals they got.
Yeah.
Because let's see if they bat away 100 mil for Isak. And that,
do you know what? Just while I'm going to pose this to you, Adam, because obviously I'm getting some like notifications coming through from mates of mine who are keeping me up to date with any news that come out while we're on the show. One of my mates is saying like it seems like Liverpool are willing to wait till middle of July to see if the Isak thing is there. Surely they've had some encouragement if that is the case.
That FATK news yesterday, wasn't it, for Newcastle? Maybe that's what it is. Gotta be.
They're expecting something could be potentially done, I'd say. And also, you know, I just think that Newcastle are talking too much in the media with regards to these contracts. Do you think it's like they're going to pay him out to be the bad guy?
Yeah. Are they doing what we're doing for Diaz?
Pay the price.
Basically, we're not going to offer you a new contract, and you're staying.
Well, we could, but it's on the money we can only give you, not the money you want.
Exactly. And it's sort of similar, isn't it? Sort of similar. We don't want to go above what we're paying for Diaz. They seem like they don't either, but they can't. So they've put a price.
They're limited, aren't they? You've got to remember they're limited. 250 is what the talk is for them. He's a player that could get that anywhere around the world.
Yeah, exactly.
They're taking out to be the bad guy, though, lads, aren't they? Putting all this, we're willing to give him specifying in the media, give you the number 9. As soon as he says, I want to go, that's it, then they'll just say, we tried everything in it.
Yeah, exactly that. I think if we can see that, I think Liverpool can see that as well.
Well, we're in the same boat, aren't we, with regards to the Diaz, the Nunes situation. We're selling players at the minute, so it is one of them. I'm just seeing some of the comments coming in here, because obviously I've been trying to go through some, but it's hard to read them out.
Any questions?
Lauren saying Newcastle want to know early. They need to find replacements. One player's coming for pre-season. All teams are getting the business done quick. I massively agree. Yeah. Andy is saying, I think it will be Ekatike and Gordon. I personally see it going more down that route myself, but you just Forza Isak.
I'd still be happy. With that as well. Honestly,
I would.
It's a great.
But you are right, Dad. The game changer is Alexander Isak, isn't it?
It definitely is.
It's one of them. What else have we got here? So here saying if we did get Isak, what winger would we realistically get? I posed that question to you, Rick, since you're basically saying he's signed. Realistically, thinking of the finances involved, you just mentioned 200 million potentially could be spent. What winger would you go for? Because I think if you're looking at them figures, Malik Fofana is probably someone that Liverpool will try and get the price down on potentially.
Yeah, I think Malik Fofana from Lyon. I know they've just been reinstated to the first division in France, but they ain't got the cash, have they? And Mark in the group was talking about the guy from Georgia. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name.
Go on.
Not a chum. Yeah, nah, not even going to bother. He could potentially be on the agenda. Who else are you looking at? There's not that many wingers out there, is there?
What about Leao from AC Milan?
Yeah, I think that, but I don't know, because if you look at AC Milan, they've got Allegri now in charge, who's like adamant that Leao will stay in, and he's going to be the focal point of his like attacking team. So he'll probably stay there. Probably sounds. I don't. Where's that kid from Southampton played? Is it Diblin? Is he?
I was just going to bring that up. I can't remember. I don't know where I've seen it, but I'm sure I've seen something today on Twitter. It could be off a shite page. I don't know. I'm not disrespecting whoever it was. I just can't remember who it is. But could that be an option, Adam? Tyler Diblin playing the backup and rotate with Cody Gakpo and Liverpool go all out for Isak?
Could do, especially like the comment there of don't forget we need homegrown. It's a good shout. He was good against us as well. He was really good. He's only 18, 19 as well.
Been hyped up as well about being a top talent in the near future.
He's that type of signing that we used to do, isn't it? Of like, it just come out of nowhere and he's a top player. So it wouldn't surprise me, mate. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Nice. And this is what we've just been talking about.
The price has gone down. No, the price has gone down. It's gone down to 25 to 35 million or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not 100 million for him, mate. No chance. Fucking hell. What are you getting with him when you buy that? You get 3 extra players that they don't want. You know what I mean? But look, I'm sure I've seen it around 40 to 45 million. If that was the case in Liverpool, lads, Isak, there's a potential something there. Because I think Liverpool like these young players, don't they? You know, the ones that they've got that money ball on where they could see value in the future. But I don't know. Someone's saying here, I don't think Dublin is the profile we need, potentially. But look, Andy's comment here is something that I was going to go into before we wrap the show up. And I'm going to go for Mark Gay, Adam. Mark Gay obviously seems to be in a little bit of a position with Palace, whereby the rumours of 50 mil keep coming out. I don't think Liverpool go that high, but I don't think to be far away. I see Liverpool in and around the 40, 45 million. What is your take on it? Do you see him as a red? I do. I think he'll be a Liverpool player soon.
I think he will be soon. I think he definitely will be. I think it's the perfect sign as well, to be honest. I think he's really good. He's actually a really good player. For 40, 45 million, yeah, definitely, mate. I'd say, yeah, 100%.
Mick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we signed Guy. I think it makes the most sense. Homegrown, experienced leader, and age. So it makes. I think we'll get it done. I think Newcastle was there for him, but I think that's more to hurry us up a little bit in terms of paying Palace what they want. I think it'll be done about 35 to 40 million. I think.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. You know, Shab's saying, I saw someone say Newcastle are leading the race for Gay. And this is just the thing that I'm going to mention to you, because we were just talking off here. Giovanni Leone, you know, the 18-year-old kid from Parma, you know, I've just got some of the stats. I've personally not seen him. He joined last summer, I believe. 10 Premier League clubs are looking at him into Milan. Do you think that could be an option, Liverpool, if they were to lose out on Mark Gay? Because look, Newcastle seem to be looking like they want to spend some money. They've showed their hand a bit as well. They've tried to spend money, haven't they? You know, the Embuemos, etc. Joe Pedro didn't come off. What's your take, Rick? Have you seen anything on him?
I ain't seen much of him, but obviously you see YouTube clips and stuff like that. But I think his preference is to stay in Italy. I mean, Italian kids are hard to get out there as it is to come to like the Premier League. But also, I think Liverpool are potentially looking at him because he's 18. You don't have to register until he's 21 or 22, so he's still he'll class as homegrown till that age. It's the same as what Gravenberch was not registered last season. But this season he will have to be, so he takes up a non-homegrown slot.
Scenario for Liverpool, that then, isn't it?
So an 18 to 19-year-old might benefit us a bit more for the next couple of years, so that we can free up some more of them homegrown slots. But it's going to be interesting. I don't think he'll leave Italy. I don't think Liverpool will pay the 35 release clause for him to get him out of Parma. I don't know if Parma got relegated this season, but he had a breakout season from this year. So, but he looks a talent if you watch YouTube videos. But again, I've seen YouTube videos of certain other players that look unbelievable in there and come to the Premier and they're absolutely dog shit. But we'll see what happens.
Adam, I'm going to post to it because obviously I want to try and go through everyone's comments to give everyone an opportunity. Keenan Yildiz is a name. Obviously, I've seen it a few times now. He's a boss little talent from Juventus. What's your take on this? Could you see this being something that Liverpool do?
There's another one, isn't it? Of like, because we all know as well, Richard Hughes likes the Italian market as well. He obviously speaks Italian, doesn't he?
Links in Juventus look at
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that wouldn't surprise you, to be honest. Yeah, I've seen bits of him. He's a talent. He's a talent, definitely. And I think he's around not that much, 35, 40 million as well. So, yeah, I'd most likely say maybe.
Thing is, you can never rule these out because Edwards and that, they're shrewd when it comes to them type of business. Them deals, you know what I mean?
But here's one for you. But Bayern Munich let him leave. He was a Bayern Munich player. In the youth team. They let him go.
The thing is, though, loads of teams let players go. Look at Man City, they've let half of Europe go. Chelsea, the same, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, look at City, for instance, with Musiala, that's a bad one to let go, isn't it?
He was 10 years he's been there, and they released him in 2022.
Interesting. I just want to go over this one again. Lawrence is saying, do we think Mark Gay gets done? Rick, do you think yes or no?
Yeah.
Adam, yes or no? I agree.
I think next week.
I can see this getting done. Yeah, I think he's, you know, it's starting to come out now where he's a bit of player pressure's coming into it, saying I'll potentially stay and stuff like that. So it's one of them. Just before we wrap up the show, I'm going to give this one to you, Adam. Shab is saying, do you reckon Bacheta stays? Any chance of Chiesa staying?
I think Chiesa stays now. Obviously, with the circumstances happened, I think Percentage, it didn't look like he was a big fan, did he, last season? And he wasn't really that good in pre-season. I like percentage. I did.
He looked good when he played, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But I do think that injury took him backwards, hasn't it? But he's homegrown as well. So does he stay for the season? But can we get money for him as well?
Money could be crucial going forward.
There's question marks, isn't the over percentage really? But I definitely think Keita stays, yeah. I do.
Same question to you, reckon. Like, just my take on it is that a lot of these kids, mate. Liverpool made the comments not long ago saying the academy's worth a lot of money. I think they're going to just cash in on all these kids myself. What's your take? And, you know, the same question posed to you with regards to what Shab's saying.
Yeah, I think Chiesa stays, Pochettino goes. It's the youth team situation when you're cashing in that. I think Liverpool are looking at it as pure profit. Whoever you sell at it is pure profit for PSR. To put us in a great financial position. Morton goes is pure profit. Elliott goes is pure profit. Pochettino goes is pure profit. So that's 3 there. Kwanzaa went pure profit. And I'm not having that our youth team's 200 million or 100 million worth of talent. It's not. It's quite shit.
300 million.
Yeah. Some of the players won't make it. There's probably 1 or 2 that might come out of that under 21 squad that'll make it. Like that Rio kid for left wing. He'll get promoted
this year myself.
Yeah. I think him, Leone have been the 2 that come in the squad this season, and I think you've got maybe 2 others in there that might potentially make it the year after. But yeah, I think we'll clear a lot of it out and go again with it. I think that the Wolves kids, that Eamon, he looks a talent that we signed, but I think he's just a little bit younger than the rest of them. But yeah, I think cash in and get the money while you can now.
Well, I think that's probably what the plan is, mate, if they can do it. Because they have different departments, don't they, for the youth?
Yeah.
Younger players, there's different people that handle that sort of stuff. But look, we'll wrap up the show. I think that was a good show that we went through a lot of names. I know it's been a difficult time for everyone with regards to, you know, how we talk about transfers. It's never the right time, is it? Do you know what I mean? That's obviously why we wanted to get the show out yesterday with regards to, you know, mentioning about Jota and stuff like that. And God rest his soul. But obviously, boys, we'll have a few shows lined up for the viewers. And look, people, if you're watching, if you haven't already, smash the like and subscribe. Don't forget as well, put in the comments, whether it be now or, you know, in the future, if there's any ideas you want us or topics you want us to discuss, we'll sort it out. And, you know, we'll get the lads together and we'll sort it all out. But look, if you haven't already, smash the like and subscribe. I think we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what happens. See if there's any news that comes out. Hopefully we get some good news for once. But until then, you never walk alone.
Thanks, well, lads.